Hello, hello. What's going on, peoples? Gonna give a little time for people to get here. There we go. I was like, I'm missing something. And sure enough, I was. All right, y'all. So, hello. It's me, Reiki Master Allison, here today on this Tuesday. Hope everyone is doing well. I had posted earlier, I hope everybody is done with Thanksgiving food. At least it should be by now. Because, yeah. But I hope everyone had a wonderful holiday. I hope that everyone is well. I'm probably not going to be on here too long. But I just wanted to show my face and say hello. And also to say thank you to those who have pre-ordered my book, which is starting over at 40, My Sacred Journey of Self-Discovery, Empowerment, and Self-Love. So, yeah, that was fun. I've got pre-orders. People have pre-ordered. Very excited about that. Very grateful for that. And before I get into what I was going to say, I want to pull a card. I'm actually going to pull two, because what I'm doing is I'm celebrating cards that that I began my journey with. Because for those that don't know, starting over at 40 was my first initial what I was pretty much using for my business. Was starting over at 40. Because, a matter of fact, my first podcast was called Starting Over at 40. So this book is not just my story, but it's also an homage to the podcast that started it all. The podcast is no longer in rotation. It has been retired officially. But I figured, since I've got the content there, I may as well, go ahead and make some of it part of the book. So that's what I did. And I'm glad that I did, because I got to relive some of the interviews that I did on the podcast that really impacted my journey in a positive way. Basically, all of those interviews were, and I'm going to be really honest, it was so hard to narrow down the ones that were going to make it into the book. So, let's see. So Shane, Dawn, Neith, Danielle, Kathleen, Allison, Muhammad. So it's like 6. There's 6 interviews in there. And all of them are in different sections of the book. So the topics or chapters or sections or whatever you want to call them of the book all have interviews in them. Some of them have more than one, and some of them have only one. But I really wanted to pay homage to the podcast that started it all for me. So that's why I'm pulling cards from the decks that pretty much started me off. My intuitiveness, I started tapping into it, but Reiki is really what made it stronger. But these decks that I've been using, like the one that I used for December's reading, and I'm going to use tonight, I'm going to pull one from tonight, and that's the Womanifesting Fertility Goddess deck by Abiola Abrams. Um, and as I said, that deck, along with her other deck, which is the African Goddess Affirmation deck, those were the decks that started it for me to do readings. When I was doing readings, when I first got started, those were the two decks I had. That was it. That's all I had. I eventually bought some other decks. One deck I bought, I thought I was going to really like it, and I didn't like it very much. And I ended up giving it away because I was like, well, if I don't use it, I'll give it to somebody that I know probably will. Because I didn't enjoy that deck very much. However, those two by Abiola, I would never part with them. Ever. Because they're just like my faves. So the other deck is the Sacred Journey Oracle deck by Vicky Ayala. Again, one of my first. And I love this deck so much, especially when I'm working with my Reiki-preneurs, because this deck is specific for branding. But don't let that trip you up, because even if you are not a Reiki-preneur, this deck, you can still use it in your journey. It's still relevant. You can use it, if you're trying to get a new job. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody has a brand, right? It doesn't matter if you have a business or not. Who you are, that is your brand. Period. Period. How you show up in the world, that's your brand. Period. So let's point our energy this way. Whew. And let's pull a card from here, and then we will also pull a Womanifesting Fertility Goddess card. So we're going to pull what we need to know, what we need to know. But if you have not seen the reading from Sunday, I would implore you to avail yourself to that reading and take a gander, because it was phenomenal. I am probably going to go back and rewatch it, as I often do, because when you're doing the reading itself, there's a difference. Like there's a difference. But I'm going to go back and rewatch it because it was powerful. And I underestimated how powerful it would be. Greetings, goddess. So, the first card that we have here is ownership. And I know that's backwards. They used to have it on here where you could mirror your screen, but they took that feature away, and I don't know why. I wish they bring it back, or if somebody can tell me if it's hiding somewhere. Yeah. So ownership. So it says, show authority over choices you make in life, both the good and the not so good. I'm going to read that again. Show authority over the choices you make in life, with both the good and the not so good. So basically, own your shit. Own it. Own what you did. Whether it's good or not so good, own it. Because it is what it is. And until you are real with yourself on what you did, what you didn't do, what you want to do, but for whatever reason you're afraid to do, until you take ownership of that, you will stay stuck. You will definitely stay stuck. So let's pull our second card and see what comes up. What we need to know. This actually came up in Sunday's reading. So again, go look at it. But this is the Sky Woman, and she is about freedom. And the affirmation on here says, I easily give birth to my miracles, magic, and mojo. I am free. Yes. I easily give birth to my miracles, magic, and mojo. I am free. Yes. So what I'm getting from this is we got to take ownership over our choices, ownership over our lives, ownership over our creativity, over the things that we're wanting to birth into this world, so that we can easily give birth to our miracles, our magic, and our mojo, and we can be free. So, Ashe. So what I wanted to talk about is, since I've got the release of my book, I actually, my family, which is my dad's side of the family, we still hold over from COVID. We still get together on Zoom on Sundays, not every Sunday. I think it's like first and third or first and fourth or something like that we do. But anyway, we were on our family Zoom call, and I let the cat out of the bag that I wrote a book. Now you might be like, well, why wouldn't you want to tell them that you did that? Well, because I do work that they don't quite understand. Because of their religious beliefs, they don't really understand what I do. I know they're curious, and I've answered questions, and I don't know if they don't agree with it or not. I think they just don't get it, and that's fine. I love it too. So I was telling them about my book, and they were so supportive. They were so supportive. My auntie, she was like, oh, tell me the name. Tell me the name of the book. And so I told her, I said, it's starting over at 40. And she just started laughing. And I was like, why is it funny, auntie? And she was like, no. She's like, because me and your other aunt, we were talking about that very subject, and it's funny that you just wrote a book about it. I was like, oh, okay. Cause they're elders, they're in their 70s, but they were talking about, the shift that happens when you get into your 40s, the changes that start to happen in your life when you get into your 40s, and how it continues even into where they are at their current age. And it's like, if I knew then what I know now. And so I was like, oh, okay. And she said, oh, I'm sorry, just tell me the rest of it, I'm sorry. So I told her, I said, starting over at 40, my sacred journey of self-discovery, empowerment, and self-love. And they loved the title. And I was so happy. Yes. You have that with some family? Yeah. I mean, what's really dope about it is the fact that my family loves me. Okay? So I don't have to worry about like them disowning me or never talking to me or anything like that. We love each other way too much for that to happen. So what's great is, even if they don't quite get what I'm doing, they don't understand why I'm doing it, they don't understand why it's so important to me, and that I don't necessarily believe what they believe or how they believe anymore. What's really beautiful is the fact that they still embrace me, and they still are like, you know what, we're happy for you, we are celebrating you, we are proud of you. And it made my heart it made my heart so happy, and like I just really wanted to cry. But it really did. It made me so happy and feel so good that they are supporting me that way. So that was fun. That was really beautiful, and just kind of like, whew, because like I said, I didn't know if I was going to tell them. Honestly, I was going back and forth on whether or not I was going to say anything, because again, because most of them are preachers, and nothing wrong with that. I love that they're preachers. I love that they are passionate about what they do. And I'm glad that they see that I'm equally as passionate about what I do and what I believe. And I've let them know before that my ministry, because yes, I believe, I feel that the work that I do is a ministry. So it is important to me. You know, I have been called to this work. So I take it very seriously. So I take ownership of my business. I take ownership so that I can easily give birth to my miracles, my magic, and my mojo. And I am free to do that. Yeah. So I really, this last week, ever since I hit the button to publish my book, I have been on an emotional roller coaster. Initially, I was like, why am I not excited? Why do I feel so blah right now? And yes, Ashe. And I was like, I know why. Because the inner bully is trying to figure out how to block my happiness, right? How to knock me off of this high of happiness. The inner bully is calculating. She's trying to figure out, okay, what can I say that she hasn't already thought about and overthought about? What can I bring back up for her to start overthinking and doubting again? Let me figure that out. And that's what ended up happening. I started overthinking and I started doubting. And I started feeling like nobody's going to get this book. I priced it too high. I the cover sucks. The title sucks. Maybe they won't get what I'm talking about in the book. Then so all this starts going on in my head. And I'm like, hold up. Where's this coming from? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Why? No reason whatsoever for me to do this. I was given the all clear to do this. I was given that divine all clear to do this. So why am I doubting it now? I've had all this time that I've been sitting down at my laptop, putting this book together, carefully, taking transcripts from my podcast and turning them into the written word, and then writing things to go and follow up with it, putting journaling questions in there, all the things. If I've taken the time to do this and I sat down and I felt good when I did it, why am I doubting it now? And that's what tends to happen to us. We start getting nervous because, we want to be loved. We don't want to be judged. We don't want to be seen as, I don't want to be an asshole, and I don't want someone to read my book and be like, who the hell she thinks she is, I want it to be well received. I so badly want it to be well received because I put my sacred intention in there. It's written in the book. So when you open up the book, you will see my sacred intention, because I don't want people to get tripped up in the fact of the starting over at 40 part, because some people are starting over at 50. Some people are starting over at 45. Some people are starting over at 60, at 30, 35. The point of the book is that no matter what, when you get the call to start over, just do it. And just see where it takes you. That's it. That's it. Just start. Just do it. And see where it takes you. You will be surprised where you will land. I'm surprised every day. I'm surprised at the fact that the woman that I heard on a podcast one day became my coach, my mentor, my friend, who also featured me in her best-selling book. I would have never thought of that. I would have never dreamed that I would be in someone's Hay House book. But I am on page 285 in this book. I'm in here. Like, I would have never dreamt that. I would have never thought that someone would share my story in the way that she did. I would have never thought that I would have made the relationships and the friendships, the connections, built the community that I've built. I would have never dreamt that I would become a Reiki master and teach other people how to do Reiki and how to incorporate it in their everyday lives. I would, on my best day, I couldn't have made this up. On my best day, and I got a very vivid imagination. So I have extreme gratitude right now. Extreme gratitude. That I just listen. Of course, I would love for hundreds upon thousands of people to be blessed by my book. But you know what? If it blesses 2 people, I'm happy. That's where I am right now. If my book blesses 2 people, if one woman hits me up and says, you know what? I felt so seen reading your book. I can relate to the stuff that you were talking about, because the stuff you struggled with, I struggled with that too. I see me in you. What more could I really ask for? To be perfectly honest. So, that's all. I just wanted to get on here and talk about the book a little, talk about my weekend. Hope everyone had a great weekend, great holiday, if you celebrate it. If you don't, hope you had a great day. So yeah, that's all I got. I will see you all next time. I think I probably will go live tomorrow, but I just don't know on what platform. But I am about to head over to TikTok, so if you are on TikTok, come on over. All right, y'all. Peace.